But most don't have it. Oh, yeah, I don't blame them. They're like, time is money. I always love it when they call. We start construction next week. We should have started the plans 6 days ago.
You can start, but
Yeah.
just move dirt around.
Go pound some flags in the ground, move them every couple of weeks, make you feel like it's going. So what is this text amendment? You know?
I tried to find the difference. And
All right, I'm here, you guys.
that all new? I got 1 minute to spare.
Post their amendments.
Well,
So is SB, is that a state? Yeah. And SB, that must be a city, Syracuse. Terminology.
Yeah, this is getting awful close. We're gonna just step up.
I know. I think I'm gonna, everybody's ready?
Sure.
You guys ready?
We only have 5 though.
We only need 5, right?
Oh, yeah, it's yeah. Can break a tie, right?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Syracuse City Planning Commission meeting for October 7th, 2025. It's now 6 p.m. and we will call this meeting to order. We'll have an invocation or thought by Commissioner Baker. Not here. I'll go ahead and do it. Our beloved Father in heaven, we're indeed grateful for this opportunity that's given us to serve on this planning commission and to represent this wonderful city of Syracuse. We pray tonight that we'll be mindful of the citizens of this community and do those things which are appropriate to help us flourish and do those things which will want citizens to be here. And bless this meeting, Father, that we'll be kind to one another, and we say these things humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. And our pledge of allegiance will be given by Commissioner Burt.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. And now we'll do the adoption of the meeting agenda.
Move to adopt the agenda. No changes.
Okay. And we have a motion to adopt the meeting agenda. Second. And with a second. And any opposed to that? Okay, we'll have the amending or adopt the meeting agenda as listed. Next is the regular meeting and work session for September 2nd, 2025 for the meeting minutes. I hope you've reviewed those and read through them. Are there any changes or need for additional comments?
I move that we approve the minutes. I don't remember the date, September 17th.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to approve the meeting
Thank
minutes for September 2nd, 2025. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next is public comment. This is an opportunity to address the Planning Commission regarding items not scheduled for a public hearing on this agenda. Please consider others and limit your comments to 3 minutes. No public comments at this time. Next, we'll open up the public hearing. This is the general plan text amendment, proposed third amendment to the Syracuse general plan. And
I'm ready for that, Mr. Chair.
yes, please.
Hopefully, let me pull up the packet. hopefully you guys have had a chance to read through this. Our general plan was adopted in 2019, but we've had various amendments to that. We've had a few for affordable housing. Mostly, we've been making updates as required by state law. The Utah legislature's been active in requiring certain things to be in general plans. Like I said, the last one was related to affordable housing. This one is related to water and growth. There's another one that's required before next summer that's related to connectivity. So we're trying to knock this one out. Um, of course, water is a hot topic. It's important to make sure we have enough water for growth. In the city, we have a secondary water system for our irrigation and lawns and gardens and things like that. We also have a culinary system. We have on our website, we have an impact fee study plan for both systems. We also have a water conservation plan that's adopted also on our website. So a lot of this was trying to pull some of this work that's already been pulled out and also have a conversation um, with the planning commission and the public about what the city's doing and what some of our goals are to make sure that we're water efficient. We've recently changed some of our ordinances as far as landscaping requirements. Um, and so we've attempted to add, this is like an appendix. I didn't include the rest of the text of the general plan. Um, and so this is meant to be initial draft form. If we have any comments, we can forward that to City Council, who's ultimately in charge of adopting the document. We've also sent this off to the state for comments, and the goal is to try to get it done before the end of the year, um, before the deadline for adoption is hit. So I don't know if you guys how detailed you guys want to get into this, but hopefully you've had a chance to study it and look into it. If you have any comments or questions, we can discuss this item. But the goal here is to forward some sort of recommendation to City Council of what your thoughts are on this new water element for the general plan.
Discussion, question?
So there were a couple of items in there about being full build out. Was this like a plan at a full build out, or if we go exceeding beyond that, or do we need to get to that point?
The goal is, I mean, I think the underlying reason why the state is trying to get involved here is they want to make sure that the cities are planning well for their full build out numbers and that we don't somehow issue too many building permits. You probably see that a lot on comment boards and things like, where's the water going to come from? You know, so I think it's important for cities to plan ahead. And the city, Syracuse actually has done a really good job planning ahead with all new development. We collect water shares. We have wells that are meant for future capacity. We have a current well right now that we use. So we have extra capacity in the water rights that we have for culinary water. And then development also pays impact fees. And so yeah, the goal is to make sure that we have enough water for our projected build out.
And our max is the 60,000 that's listed here. That's kind of what we're.
Yeah, and the impact fee study plans are designed to capture the projects that are needed for full build out, and they go off of the general plan. And the densities that are anticipated in the general plan, as we know, sometimes change. And so the 60,000 and all of our plans are based off of our current general plan. And that's the best you can do. But if things become more dense, then, you need more water and make sure we plan ahead.
And do we need anything in here? Because with the secondary water, I know I think that there's like a 13,000 acre feet capacity, if I remember right from reading it. I know the Water Conservancy District is we're metering all of our houses. Do we need to include anything about that and potential for like overusage, how to protect? Because right now if you have a spigot, you can let it run.
Yeah, so there's a few paragraphs talking about that, or maybe only one. In our water conservation plan, there's more. But yeah, the has a huge project underway right now. We're installing secondary meters on every house. And of course, with new growth, it's easy to install a new meter per the standard spec, but we're also retroactively going through and installing the meters on the existing connections. And that's a $16 million project. And the city did get some funding and some help with the grant and things like that, but it's still millions of dollars. And things like that, that's the reason why the city collects impact fees, so that we can capture projects like that. The anticipated costs when you do impact fee study plans sometimes are not accurate to what the actual costs are. And the way impact fees are collected with development doesn't always follow a linear pattern based off of market demands and things. And so when a home's built, we collect the impact fee, but sometimes you just need a like, for example, we built a new water tower. You reach a point in your system where it's a big chunk of money and it doesn't always line up with the rate that we're collecting impact fees. So that's why it's important to always be updating your impact fee study plans. So we're in the process right now of updating both the culinary and secondary impact fee plan, and that's Public Works is doing that right now, and they've hired JUB to do that. And we've also passed this on to JUB, this water element, and we want them to help populate some more detail. So we like I said, the goal is to try to get done before the end of the year, but it's looking like most likely it'll be done or get to City Council either by the end of the year or the first part of January.
In here, we've got about 60% complete for secondary water. Are we 100% metered for our culinary water?
Yeah. Yep. All culinary connections are metered, and we have a tiered fee structure.
We don't have to go and read the meter, though. It's all electric now.
Oh, it's only been within the last 5 or 6 years that we have a radio read that you can drive by with a truck, but you still have to have somebody drive through every single street and read all the meters, and as you drive by it transmits the data.
Okay.
Not too many years ago, it was a wand read, and you put a wand on it and it goes beep, and then it reads it. And not too many years before that, it was literally you open the thing and you write down the number, and then you close the lid and you go to the next house.
Right.
So like just the act of reading it requires employees and software and all kinds of stuff. But the secondary, the first step is to have it metered and actually understand what the water usage is, because like you said, I don't think the city understands how much water is really being used because it's not metered, and you pay a flat fee, and some people put that thing on and who knows what they're doing in the backyard. So I think that's spelled out in our water conservation plan that the document references. But once we start reading secondary data, get some data, the city can understand what an average usage is per home, and I think in the future they'll have some sort of tiered rate. And the bad actors will either get shut down or fined or pay an exorbitant, maybe not exorbitant, but like it's only fair that you use more, you pay more. Maybe you use less, you pay less.
Thank you.
You're running things today. I was unfortunately a little bit late. My apologies.
Any other?
Welcome to the meeting. Yeah, this is going to be a quick and easy one, I think.
Yeah, no, I've got a couple questions for you. I'm assuming that all public buildings are involved in that secondary metering. Maybe those were the first ones to be done.
Yes. Yep.
Another question. The availability of our water rates or our water rights, excuse me, on the amount of acre feet and all that. I'm assuming that's based upon a historical average of how much water is available.
So yeah, the way water shares work, some years they're good water years and some years they're not. And so it's called a water share, which means that you get a piece of the pie, and sometimes the size of the pie actually changes. And so the city does, we have watering schedules. And so if you're in certain parts of the city, you have certain days that you can water. And then of course, Sunday is a non-watering. And of course, the city buildings, we're trying to lead by example. We've flipped the strip. We've pulled out a lot of turf in the front there. The key word is non-functional turf, right? So if you have areas that aren't used for sports or picnics, some of the city hall area is somewhat functional because of the annual parade. And it seems maybe silly to have grass for once or twice a year, but it is something that residents enjoy.
So with those water shares, in Utah, is it based on seniority?
So there are the old farmer shares, and then there are. So the way I understand it, it's like you have projects back in the day. When they built Echo, that's a project and that's a tier water, and if the shares are part of that, or if as they build different canals and different projects, and so there's like different project water, and so the city pays annual fees. So as far as our availability of water, I think is what you're getting at. The city's high up there on our ability to get water. We're confident that even in drought years, we'll have our fair share.
So assuming anything other than a total catastrophe, we have enough access and seniority that we would not be superseded and say that Roy gets our water instead because that's all the water that's left.
Yeah, these are good points to bring up, and I don't know if we want to talk about that. I didn't get into that level of detail, but I know that it's something that the city thinks about, and in the level of the totem pole of priority, secondary water, it's important to have our gardens and it's important to have landscaping, but the real important one is the culinary water, to make sure that you don't have drinking water, we die.
Without getting too far out in the weeds, I guess my point is all these speculations about water capacity for 60,000 inhabitants, is that based upon as is projections, or is that extrapolating that we're going to have additional conservancy measures in the future that's going to allow us to stretch to that? Or is that a conservative goal and we still have some wiggle room with some additional water saving measures on top of that?
There's a lot more that we could do. I think it's a pretty conservative measure. And to be honest, I mean, we've been saying build out is 60,000 for a long time, and that's just like a big round number. It could be a lot more than that, depending on what happens. And there's a lot of variables there. Like I said, density, housing type, that's dictated by all kinds of things that are outside of the city's control sometimes. But the city controls its zoning and doesn't have to approve a project if it's feeling tight on there. But the current sentiment with where we're at with our systems is that we have the capacity for growth, and we have planned ahead we are planning for growth, and we're about 40,000. And with the 60,000 build out, that's still quite a bit of growth. And if you look around, there are still a few farms. They're going fast. And if there's a farm around, the chances are there's somebody that's looking at it.
Yeah, and generally a farm uses more water than a households are going to use anyways. Okay, that thing answers my question. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I can just hop in here for 1 second, I'd opened up a couple of things. So we do have the projections, but we also do deal with this on like a case by case basis with the secondary in particular. And then also with housing, when people apply for a building permit, we're going to have water impact fees to pay for pipe upgrades and things like that in the future. So but for subdivision plats, so for any sort of new housing or new commercial or industrial development that we get, we have requirements that they dedicate water to the city in the form of a water share before the plat's allowed to be recorded. So they're not allowed to build anything without water dedicated to us. So even if they don't have landscaping in, we have water. So here's an example of a water share. These things are essentially currency. This gives you access to a certain number of acre feet as defined here through this one's Davis and Weber Canal Company. This is accepted everywhere in the city. And then there's Layton Canal. We also accept Hooper irrigation. Layton Canal is pretty much everything below the bluff, so west of that. So this canal company provides access to that area just based off of the gravity. So when we have these water shares that are dedicated to us, this essentially gives us direct certificate access to the water from these companies. So we are guaranteed to be able to have that access. So I guess, barring some sort of substantial calamity that occurs, maybe like the Echo dam breaks or something like that, we are guaranteed this water, right? So it's not like, there's a drought. Well, what's going to happen? We do have these things that are managed through larger regional water systems, and these are guaranteed. So, and developers are required to dedicate these to us. I've seen a few developments over the years that have died because they couldn't find the water. Sometimes people that are selling, like a farmer, will sell their land with water. Sometimes they don't. But either way, it doesn't matter. We still require them to provide the correct number of shares. And for like single family residential, for example, that would be 3 acre feet per acre of water. And so like an acre foot, if I remember right, isn't it? It's an acre of ground covered with 1 foot of water. Isn't that how they measure that? So it's quite a bit of water. But basically just makes sure that we have the water available. We have direct access to it through here. And we have all of these, hundreds of pages that we have, several thousand shares, as it mentions in the general plan, that are in a lockbox. We've got direct access to that if we need it to verify that we have access to that water.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, my father-in-law has done some developing, and he's had to deal with the water shares quite a bit, especially like up on the North Ogden benches. It's that way everywhere you go, but they are very, very stingy with water shares and who's going to let them go and everything. And when he said that these are currency, he's not kidding.
Yeah, it's literally like liquid gold. And sometimes there'll be water speculators that they'll swoop in and they'll buy the water shares from the farmer, and then they'll hold on to them and jack up the price. And anyway, we're getting in the weeds.
I was just going to make one more comment. Approximately 110 years ago, the Colorado Compact divided up the water flow of the Colorado River among the western states. They based that on an average that turned out to be record high, abnormally large water flow years. So they're essentially dividing a number that didn't even exist. They were dividing 120% of average instead of 100%. And so that was just on my mind. Yes, the shares are meaningful, but you can't divide 0, right? So that just comes into my mind. I know we're being aggressive, and I'm grateful for that. I just the water's, like I say, water's always a present worry in the West.
Yeah. Well, I'm confident that we've done all we can to ensure, but it's nature.
And this is only secondary water too. This isn't going to.
This isn't for drinking. This is the untreated. So it's Weber River, and the flows on the Weber River can fluctuate, but it is coming below a dam, so they can regulate the flows. And like I said, it's a piece of the pie. So some years can be more thin, but that's where you implement more water conservation measures and things like that.
We had that one just what, 3 or 4 years ago.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there anybody online?
Nope.
Any public input? Okay. And or the understanding is this is a recommendation to the city council, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion from the commissioners?
I've got one other item. Royce, can you scroll down? I believe there was a bunch of conservation methods or something at the end of the document, recommendations. Is that right? There we go. Just wanted to get a good look at those. So these are goals. They're not mandated. There's no set plan. They're just future actions that we may implement as a city. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you clicked on this link, that carries this out, and this is an adopted plan by city council by resolution. So it's not an ordinance, but it is something that the city endorses and buys into.
Thank you, commissioners. And we make a motion.
So are we motioning to city council to approve this as worded?
Yeah, whatever you recommend, you can recommend to approve with conditions. You could table. You can even recommend to deny for certain reasons if you felt like this was, if you felt that way, probably better for us to keep working on it here for a little while than make some changes.
I have no notes.
Okay, I'll make a motion. I move that we recommend approval to the city council as worded on the amendment to the Syracuse General Plan in accordance with SB 110 water as part of the general plan and SB 76 water amendments.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, this is recommended to move forward to the city council. Okay. And if you'll pull up the agenda, we'll go to the. Okay, a motion to adjourn the commissioner meeting or planning commission meeting and move into a work session.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, work session. We have the Department of Business City Council Liaison Report.
I don't think I have anything major to report, but I did want to make sure everyone is aware that we have an upcoming election in our city. So we have 2 city council seats and the mayor is up for election. And so we have the second of 2 meet the candidate nights tomorrow here at City Hall at 6:30. There will be kind of a little bit of a meet and greet, and there will be a question and answer panel. So anyone wanting to find out who's running for city council and what they stand for, that would be a good opportunity to come out and see them tomorrow. So that's it.
Can I jump in with the question, please?
Sure.
For those that are unable to attend, will there be platforms or information listed anywhere that people can look into?
Yeah, so you can go on to the Davis County website and also the state website, and they have all of the candidates do a little bit of a blurb about themselves and kind of explain what they're about. Other than that, meeting them in person, reaching out to them, following them on Facebook. Most of them have campaign page. Those types of things are how you stay informed about them. So,
Okay, thanks.
okay, thank you.
And I was just going to add to that for your question. The state website is really good at telling you all the candidates, not just for our city, but you can look at others for all around you and get their information. It's required to put that in for you. Okay.
If you have any questions on who's running, you can always look at the corner.
Yeah, I was just showing you guys this county website that has the election stuff.
I feel like I looked at the city webpage and it was pretty scant, so it sounds like the county website's a good resource.
State. Yeah.
Yeah, the city recorder's primary or one of her job responsibilities to run the local election, but yeah, they have all of the candidate ballot stuff on here.
Thank you.
And then we are glad to welcome our city attorney, and anything for us?
Oh, sorry, I should have introduced. So this is Kayla. She's our new planner. So our city attorney is actually on vacation right now, so he was unable to make it today.
So she's with us as one of our planners.
Yep. So Mike left a few weeks ago, and Kayla's replaced Mike. So we're happy to have her. She's been great so far. So we're excited to see what she can accomplish here. So
Welcome, Kayla.
Welcome.
That reminds me, we need to get you a name thing. Yeah, so other department business, we wanted to talk about the schedule coming up for the November. So we have Veterans Day on November 11th, which is the regularly scheduled city council night. And so they're going to be bullies to you guys, and they're gonna steal your night on the 18th. So we'll need to cancel that night for planning commission. And then as far as upcoming agenda items, we have an application for Antelope Station Lot number 2. This is the Architectural Review Committee met on this a long time ago, and then it's just taken them a long time to make revisions to the plan, but we believe that they should be back. Chances are high that they'll be ready for the October 21st. We also have Sadie's Glen Phase 4. That's the one off 2700 South, the attached senior housing project. That's a final plat, so no public hearing required. We think that will be ready. And then we have a lakeside flat. If you remember on the six-way roundabout, the southwest corner, behind there was a recent rezone and general plan amendment. There's like how many lots? It's like 30 lots or something like that. It's a pretty small residential subdivision in the R3 zone. So they're working on a preliminary plat on that one. We also have the West Lake Landing, which is the commercial portion of that project that's up front, and there'll be a gas station and multiple commercial buildings along the frontage there. And they're working on a final plat, but they're just not quite ready yet. And so we believe that we will have a meeting on the 21st. If there's any changes, we'll make sure to let you guys know. Appreciate you guys being here. I know it's been a little bit slow and we canceled the last meeting. Coming in towards the end of the year, sometimes things get a little bit slower, and we'll, for Thanksgiving and Christmas, we'll have to look at those meetings. It looks like city council on the 25th is, going to get canceled, and they'll have the one meeting for that month, and then December 23rd city council, that would get canceled too. But as far as the planning commission, November 4th should be good. And then, like I said, the 18th would be canceled, so we probably only have one planning commission meeting in November, and then December we would have the 2nd and the 16th, and most likely both of those dates will be good as long as we have agenda items. But if we don't have any business to do, we can either cancel or we can convene to do training, or we can read the general plan and talk about certain chapters. Because I think coming up, we're going to need to understand what's in the general plan, because there'll be an update that's needed soon.
And I think some of that training and review will be good.
Also, for the fellow commissioners, if you guys have anything that you think we need to go over as a commission, obviously, don't just feel free, please do bring it up. that you think that we need to bring up in the meeting, because it's important for us to make sure we're discussing what the is.
On that note, do we have any thing coming to the planning commission for the former JAG site?
Yes. No official. Sorry, did you want to do that?
Yes.
I mean, steal your thunder.
So exciting.
You're stolen.
So there's no official application yet, but word on the street is that 7-Eleven is interested in purchasing it. But like I said, that could change depending on what actually happens.
Okay, and brick walls are going up across the street from that, so.
Yeah, so the Costco project is working on their footings, and they'll be pouring a lot of concrete here soon.
Yeah, I saw some today, and like I said, brick walls are starting to go up. So that's pretty exciting.
Now, I noticed that the Jags location actually does have some utility pipes and everything coming out too right now too, so.
Yeah, they started the JAGS project. They had it fully approved and everything, and then it just stalled.
I have kind of a little quick tangent question about that. So I was recently learning about the, I believe it's called the RAP law, the Recreation Arts Parks. And I was curious if there was any kind of projection of what kind of impact the Costco would provide to that. I imagine it'd be substantial, unless it's part of the no grocery element of that.
Yeah, so Costco's projected to generate a lot of sales tax. And we do have there's different acronyms in every city. It's different, but I think it says ours is RAP tax. So yeah, it should generate increased amount of that because it's sales tax.
No ideas or guesses on that though.
I don't think we have a projection. We've done just general sales tax projection. You know, the way sales tax works, it gets charged and then it gets sent to the state and reapportioned based off of the city's population. But then there's also a local point of sale, a half of a percentage that gets back to the city. So it'll be a major boon for the city. It's not that it doesn't come without its impacts and other costs as far as impacts to traffic and enforcement, things like that. Yeah, I think other cities, they call it a ZAP. I've seen different acronyms for it. Arts, parks, zoos, all that stuff is the same thing.
Yeah, it was new to me and I just thought it was so cool. So I'm looking forward to benefits the city will be able to reap from Costco.
Sure. Yeah, there's lots of different ways that the city can generate revenue that way.
Anything else? Okay, thank you. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Just one quick note. I know this is this week. It's coming up. So this Thursday and Friday, the planning conference at the it's down at the Gateway, I believe, in Salt Lake. American Planning Association, the Utah chapter, is holding their conference. So if any of you are interested, we do have budget for it. We'd be happy to pay for your tickets. They're always really interesting, enjoyable, great presentations.
That's on Thursday, Royce?
Thursday and Friday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, real quick, in that book, like, you guys are cool.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, who's got it?
Hey.
Oh, yeah. Good. Probably heard this a million times, but I was thinking the exact, this one, see that. You heard that before?